Christmas is supposed to feel warm, safe, comforting. But late at night, when the streets are quiet and the snow absorbs every sound, strange things can happen. Tonight, I'll share 3 Christmas horror stories that will change the way you look at the holidays. Story 1. The Christmas Eve Visitor. This happened when I was 16. My parents were at a Christmas party across town, and I stayed home because I wasn't feeling well. It was Christmas Eve, just after 10 p.m. Snow had been falling for hours, covering the street in a thick white layer. The whole neighborhood was silent. I was on the couch watching a movie when I heard a soft knock at the front door. Not the doorbell, a knock. 3 slow taps. I wasn't expecting anyone. My parents would always text before coming home. I got up and looked through the peephole. A man was standing on our porch. He was wearing a dark winter coat, a red scarf, and a Santa hat pulled low over his eyes. He was holding a small gift bag. He wasn't facing the door. He was staring at our front window, like he was trying to look inside the house. I felt a chill run down my back. I didn't open the door. I just said, "Can I help you?" The man slowly turned toward the door. Then he leaned closer, too close, until his face filled the peephole. He smiled. "Is your mom home?" he asked softly. My heart started pounding. I didn't answer. "I have a gift for her," he said. He lifted the small bag and held it up. I stepped away from the door. Something felt very wrong. After a few seconds of silence, he knocked again. Harder this time. "I know someone is home," he said in a low voice. "I saw the lights on." I grabbed my phone and texted my mom, asking when they'd be back. She said they would leave the party in 20 minutes. I didn't move from the living room. I just stood there, listening. For a moment, I thought the man had left. But then I heard footsteps. Slow footsteps moving around the side of the house. 1 step. Crunch in the snow. Another step. I ran to the back door to make sure it was locked. As I reached it, I heard something outside. A soft tapping on the glass. I froze. The tapping continued, slow and gentle. My hands were shaking as I opened the curtain just an inch. The man was standing in the backyard, right outside the sliding door, still holding the gift bag, and still smiling. I screamed and ran to my bedroom, locking the door and calling the police. When the police arrived, the man was gone. But they found footprints circling the entire house. And on the back door, they found the gift bag he was carrying. Inside was a single Christmas card. It said, "I know you're alone." Story 2. The Mall Santa in the Parking Lot. When I was in college, I worked part-time at a shopping mall during the holidays. That December was especially busy, and management asked some of us to stay late on Christmas Eve to help clean up after the crowds left. By the time we were done, it was almost midnight. The mall had closed 2 hours earlier, and most of the lights were already off. Only the emergency signs and a few hallway lights were still on. I headed out through the employee exit and into the huge back parking lot. Snow was falling lightly, and the entire area looked empty. Most of the staff had left already. I was one of the last. As I walked toward my car, I noticed something strange. In the far corner of the parking lot, someone was sitting on the curb. A man, dressed in a full Santa suit. The bright red coat, the hat, the fake beard. At first I laughed a little. I figured it was the mall's Santa taking a break before heading home. But the more I looked, the stranger it felt. He wasn't moving. He wasn't smoking. He wasn't on his phone. He was just sitting there, staring at the ground. I tried to ignore him and kept walking. My car was maybe 50 feet away. Then I heard something behind me, a soft scraping sound on the asphalt. I looked back. The Santa was now standing, completely still, facing me. His beard was crooked and his hat was tilted, but his posture was perfectly straight. Too straight, like he wasn't trying to act like Santa anymore. I waved awkwardly. Merry Christmas," I said. He didn't respond. He just watched me. I got to my car and unlocked the door. Before getting in, I looked again. The Santa was walking toward me. Slowly. The same scraping sound with each step, like his boots were dragging. "Sir, are you okay?" I called out. He stopped walking. Then he lifted his hand and held something up. A small red gift box. "For you," he said in a deep voice that didn't sound natural, like he was forcing it. I shook my head. "No, thank you. I'm good." He started walking faster. Not running, just a faster, heavier walk, dragging his feet across the snow-dusted pavement. My heart was pounding. I opened my car door and got inside just as he reached the row where I was parked. He stopped about 20 feet from my car. Stood completely still again. Then he slowly tilted his head to the side, almost like a curious dog. The red gift box was still in his hand. "Take it," he said. I locked all the doors and started the engine. The Santa took another step. "Take it," he repeated, louder this time. I floored the gas and drove out of the parking lot as fast as I could. In my rear-view mirror, I saw him running after my car. Not stumbling, not dragging his boots. Running. Fast. I didn't stop until I reached the road outside the mall. And when I looked again, he was gone. The next morning, I told mall security about what happened. They checked the cameras. They found footage of me walking to my car. But the Santa? He wasn't on the footage at all. Not once. Not in the parking lot, not entering, not leaving. The only thing the cameras showed was the small red gift box sitting on the curb. Inside it was a scrap of paper that said, "Next time, don't walk alone." Story 3. The Snowman Across the Street. Last Christmas, I was house-sitting for my aunt while she visited family in another state. She lived in a quiet neighborhood, the kind where every house had Christmas lights, wreaths on the doors, and snowmen in the front yards. On the first night, I noticed something strange. Across the street, in front of an empty house that was for sale, someone had built a snowman. It wasn't decorated like the others on the block. No buttons, no carrot nose, no scarf. Just a plain, smooth snowman, with 2 small stones for eyes. It was facing directly toward my aunt's house. I didn't think much of it and went inside. The next morning, I looked outside again. The snowman had moved. It was still across the street, but now it was closer to the sidewalk, like someone had pushed it during the night. I watched for a minute, expecting to see kids playing outside. No one was there. That afternoon, I went out to shovel the driveway. When I looked up, I froze. The snowman was now on the edge of the property, near the mailbox, still facing the house, still watching. I walked closer to get a better look. The snow around its base was untouched. No footprints, no drag marks, nothing that showed someone had moved it. I backed away and went inside, locking the door. That night, around 11 p.m., I heard something outside. A soft, rhythmic crunching in the snow. Footsteps. I peeked through the curtains. The snowman was now in my aunt's front yard, just a few feet from the house. Its stone eyes were angled upward, staring at the window where I was standing. I dropped the curtain and stepped back, my heart racing. I didn't know what to do. Call the police? Tell them a snowman was following me? I'd sound insane. I decided to sleep in the guest room on the opposite side of the house, away from the windows facing the yard. Sometime around 2 a.m., I woke up to a noise downstairs. A slow, creaking sound, like someone had opened the back door. I grabbed the closest thing I could use as a weapon, a metal lamp, and crept down the stairs. The living room light was off, but the moonlight shining through the windows lit the room just enough to see shapes. The back door was closed, still locked. But the floor near it was wet. Small puddles, melted snow. I heard another sound behind me, a soft drip. I turned around. In the corner of the living room stood the snowman. Only now it wasn't smooth anymore. Its arms were long, crooked tree branches. The two stone eyes were replaced with deep, hollow holes in the snow, and they were pointed directly at me. I bolted upstairs, locked myself in the bathroom, and called the police. When they arrived, the living room was empty. No snowman, no puddles, no footprints. But the officer noticed something on the floor near the couch. Two small stones, the same size and shape as the snowman's eyes. Christmas is supposed to be a peaceful time of year. But sometimes, the things hiding in the snow are darker than we expect. If you enjoyed these stories, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more Christmas horror this week. And if you have a scary holiday story of your own, feel free to share it in the comments. Stay safe, stay warm, and keep your doors locked tonight.